821, not a bad pass, though, for naturally aspirated. Speaking of naturally aspirated, a couple of turbocharged cars going to push all that aspiration in our next pair. Steve Morris and David Armentrout. Armentrout on the left-hand side, 1967 Chevrolet Nova. They call it Chevy 2. He's having some problems, it looks like, so he's going to get backed off the starting line. That's a bummer. So Morris in the revamped Boostmaster wagon. Yeah, this is the guy at S&M. This is the guy who builds the motors for Tom Bailey's car. This is his car. He went through a complete revamp in it. It used to be a small tire radial car, but it's been on the back burner. He brought it back as a big tire car, and yesterday laid down a 689 at 200 miles an hour. What can he do right here? Attention all drivers, time zones can be picked up. On the 60 foot. I want to see a 6. Bring it on. 682. Delivering a 6 yesterday. Delivers a 6 today. Our third 6-second pass, and we're just getting things started. Are you kidding me?
100%. And Race Week does have some money involved in the deal, so full disclosure, that one does have a little bit of cash involved. But yeah, the rest of these is just drag week. You win a jacket and a guitar. Out here, you're going to win a helmet. But it's it's just all doing what you're doing, and you're having fun with your friends, and it's more bragging rights than anything else.
So the interesting thing is again, these two cars are both in the same class. They're both an unlimited iron. But yeah, again, we could not have a different pair of cars if we tried.
And you'll notice that, on the live stream, and if you're here at the Gainesville track, when these people back up and they actually hit the brakes and do all that stuff, all the lights work. We check all that stuff. They have lights, they have turn signals, they have headlights, they have horns. We don't require them to have wipers, but that's what Rain-X does.
So Steve Morris obviously not liking that first burnout on those big balloon tires, and he's going to go back and do it one more time, lay down just a little bit more rubber. He obviously wants a 6-second pass because he's chasing that unlimited iron top time. Right now, he's up there, but like we already saw, Sean Fink threw down a 695. So, again, Morris might feel the heat just a little bit because he knows that Fink already has a 6-second pass. Morris just swapped everything over from driving it for 2 days. Yeah, now we got to figure out, okay, can we go A to B? How about throw a 6 up on the window?
And they're getting in there, and then right behind Steve Morris is Dennis Taylor. So you'll see Alex Taylor coming up, but he's looking at the racetrack and seeing if it makes sense for Alex to run. And I'm sure she's gonna, but that car definitely gonna end up in the 6s before you know it.
Yeah. Oh, we got a call for a compression tester. Does anybody have a compression tester on the property? If you do, looks like Cletus and his group need it. We're all staged and ready for Kevin Smith in the Boostmaster wagon. Here we go. Morris on a 113, 60-foot left side. Do we see a 6?
Yes,
there it is.
689, 215.
Laying it down like no problem at all. Kevin Smith staying consistent, 785, 175. He went 790 yesterday. So chances are, I'm thinking both of those time slips might go to the first floor of the tower, and they say one and done. Let's get on the road.
Let's get on the road. And look at that, 460 with a 5 in the 8th, 166 miles an hour for Steve Morris. That thing was laying on the power in the second half.
I mean, again, second straight 6.8-second pass. Second straight 215 mile an hour in a brick.
That's what I'm talking about. And then keeping those 6-second cars rolling. Here he is, Steve Morris in the Boostmaster 2 in the left lane. SMX power, twin turbo 481X, but with water so you can drive it on the street.
Yeah, this is a car that some of you might remember from limited drag radial and outlaw drag radial action. Used to be a small tire Buick station wagon with a ProCharger on it. Now, he completely revamped it. He basically yanked the skin off of it and put it down over a brand new chassis, big tires in the back. He decided to go to the steamrollers.
Right.
And then he switched from the ProCharger to twin turbos and had it all repainted and sat down on the ground. How fast is it? It's gone a pair of 6.8-second runs. So yeah, guy who possibly could be competing at the top in what's known as the unlimited iron category on the left side.
through, so that's why the tree did not activate.
Yep, and that's Rob Lipinski. That's that car they call Old Yeller, the gas.
Sitting on the starting line for a while, Steve Morris might have had too much transmission temperature in that thing.
Yeah, and
as it
unfortunately,
looked kind of soft.
Both of them ended up with sort of aborted passes, and that's a shame. Here at Sick Week, you can't turn in a time slip that has more than a 1 second reaction time, and Morris was a 3.11, and that's not going to be good enough. Single turbo LS Malibu, and here it comes. This is Steve Morris, the Boostmaster 2.
I'll tell you what, man, Nicky Bobby was on a rip. 457 at 152 to the half-track mark. It probably had another low 7-second pass in it, but knowing him, I bet either it hit a safety cutoff or he just didn't like the way it was going, and he got out of it early.
Yep, and I bet you $1,000 we'll see him later today.
Ooh, that was not good. That burnout turned into something that sounded like it was not in first gear. Now, I don't know if Steve Morris just didn't get enough water under the tires, but that's going to add heat to the motor and the tranny. That's not what he wants.
Doing a burnout on the torque converter is not the way.
So we're going to back up the Boostmaster wagon. We're going to try this one more time. Again, remember, he's worried about making this thing all the way back down to Bradenton. He just gave it a rev, and it didn't move.
It is not sounding right. And Tom Bailey's up there telling him, you got to shut this thing down.
Yeah,
there's
he's like,
something
no,
wrong.
No, something is not right.
I've heard this before. That, of course, the Boostmaster, nearly identical car to Tom Bailey's Pro Mod car.
Yeah, you hear him, he just whacked the gas there, it barely moved.
Yep, and so Tom says, you know what, Steve, this isn't it. Back the thing off, take it back to the pits, and bring it back.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, obviously, if you can't make the pass during optimal conditions, it kind of puts you in hurry-up mode. And you know what? We saw a lot of people doing that in Gainesville yesterday. A lot of them came out okay, but this is what happens. The attrition rate on a drag and drive, it really does put stress on parts.